If Schumer says to people, be violent because he's trying to get ahead of AOC, what do you think the next course of action politically will be between AOC and Chuck Schumer?
Who could say to be more violent?
They're going to try to one-up each other in this area of direct conflict, direct action.
Wait, are they running against each other?
The presumption is AOC is going to try to primary Schumer in New York.
Okay.
She actually, the official reporting is she's looking at president or Senate.
And this could also explain as to why Chuck Schumer is leading a shutdown to show that he is fighting back against the Trump, so-called fighting back against the Trump administration by shutting down the government.
Can I ask you?
So in essence, the entire play by the Democrat Party is simply to
CrossroadsIRL.com.
Production for the show. I was like, did you hear what happened in Chicago? A vehicle rammed DHS. They pursued them, pulled a pit maneuver, causing a crash. Get out. A bunch of locals start swarming around and throwing rocks. I'm like, this is crazy. This should be the lead story for tonight. And then we go to Post Millennial, and Chuck Schumer is like, people need to forcefully rise up against Trump. And I was like, oh my God. Here's the story from the Post Millennial. Chuck Schumer calls on Americans to forcefully rise up against Trump over Tish James's indictment. I don't care if you're a Democrat, Republican, liberal, or conservative. Moderate people should be forcefully rising up against this. I'm going to play the clip for you because this is where we are.
Then they find another one. It is just such a hallmark of tyrannical, autocratic, dictatorship societies that they use the prosecutorial department as a political weapon. It is a disgrace, and every American, I don't care if you're Democrat, Republican, liberal, conservative, moderate, people should be forcefully rising up against this, speaking out against it.
So how come they didn't do that when the Justice Department under President Biden was doing that to Trump? I call double standard, I call BS. If you're a fair-minded person now, all of you who've been following me know I'm not Republican and I'm not Democrat, all right? It's about being fair-minded. We watched as Chuck Schumer and his colleagues in the Democrat Party leadership celebrated the fact that President Trump was being indicted and dragged through the courts. They had no problem watching Letitia James advertise her open plan to indict President Trump as far back as 2018. This was something that everyone knew about. By 2020, she was on The View telling them that she was going to start the process of indicting him as soon as he left office on January 21st of the next year. Everyone knew about it. So when you watch them jump around and, like with their hairs on fire screaming, the justice system is being weaponized, well, it's clear that they just, the hypocrisy really doesn't faze them. These guys are shamelessly going around saying this. Okay, so let's keep listening.
Making it clear how inimical this is to what our democracy has been stood for more than two centuries.
I'm not playing games with these people. I don't care about how many of you want to give them the benefit of the doubt. I'm not going to do that. The man literally said, forcefully rise up against this, speak out against it, and that is a three-part statement. He was saying to forcefully rise up against it. There is only one. He's talking about physical force. I mean, fine, if you want to talk about coercive force, sure. He's literally saying use force against Trump and his law enforcement. We've seen that going on. We know that AOC shares the ideology with Charlie Kirk's alleged assassin. We know that these people have venerated the alleged assassin of Brian Thompson, Luigi Mangione. So I am done playing these games where it's like, maybe Chuck Schumer meant something. Shut up. We know what they mean.
All right. So yeah, there's a poll. Okay, on the YouTube side, on the main channel and on the backup channel. If you're watching on Kick or Twitch, sorry, there's a poll on the YouTube side. But if you're watching elsewhere, just leave your thoughts in the chat. Okay, do you think Chuck Schumer's statements are serious? Does he mean actual violence or is he being figurative? Okay, just let me know in the chat. If you're watching on the YouTube side, take the poll and let's know what you think about what he's saying, because when the Democrats say one thing, okay, they expect you to believe that they don't actually mean that it's that thing. They're being, facetious, they're being figurative. But when a Republican says the exact same thing, all right, they take it to mean exactly that same thing. And words matter. Words matter. So let me know in the poll and in the chat what you think he meant.
And if you sit there and think, no, he certainly must have meant something different, then just sit by as the fire engulfs your home and you'll be left wanting.
He didn't mean anything different. He wants to see people taking action. This is what the left has been begging for as long as Donald Trump has been in politics, right? Like you heard people start in 2016 when they're saying, oh, the right, they're all Nazis, they're all this, and we have to fight fascism, and Donald Trump's a Nazi, and it's okay to punch Nazis, and blah blah blah. They've been seeding they've been making this argument for 10 years, and now we're seeing people that have heard this argument for since they were children,
which is true,
16, 15, whatever. They're now in their 20s.
My daughter was born in 2016, and today she's about to turn 10 years old next year. A lot of time has gone by, and a lot of these people who were 10 when all of this started are 20 today. Okay, what he's saying is actually true. They've been seeding the atmosphere with this sentiment for over 10 years. Imagine that. Imagine growing up, hearing this from mainstream media, reading this in online magazines and blogs, hearing it from your schools. The teachers are saying it. We saw kids who were being filmed by their parents on TikTok crying because President Trump had won the election, because they were terrified. They were told that he was going to end the world, that he was going to arrest them, that he was going to do horrible things. And people's brains have literally been rewritten by the narrative about what mainstream media and the Democrat Party have said about Donald Trump and about conservatives. So when you see them acting out the way they're acting out in Portland and in Chicago and in California, you shouldn't be surprised.
And they're taking action. This is exactly what Chuck Schumer wants.
Weak Chuck, right? He looks like Joe Biden with glasses, like Joe Biden and Woody Allen. What a creep. What a weirdo.
Unreal.
Right? Letitia Jashi, I call her the poor woman's Oprah, right? The poor woman. Right? You get a riot. You get a riot. What a nasty woman.
It's a tick.
That's a good Donald
autism.
Trump. I have no Donald Trump at all. So, but yeah, I mean, look, it's not a surprise.
Seamus looks uncomfortable.
Wait, no, I mean, I don't know. The story is messed up. I know we talked about it the other day. Obviously, she should be imprisoned. I have no idea why she should get kind of Well, what I should say is if she's found guilty by a court of law, there should be legal consequences. But the idea that you can't bring charges against somebody. All right, well, then I don't know what to say, man.
No. Like, oh, she's found guilty by a court, like Trump was? Like,
yeah,
these people in New York made up fake crimes against Trump.
Yeah. Yep.
Look, listen. Let's just be blunt about everything. If the DOJ brings charges in a liberal jurisdiction, she's free to go. If they bring charges in a conservative jurisdiction, she's getting the book thrown at her.
Okay, so but here's a problem. All right, now here's a problem, and I disagree with this analysis. I disagree with the observation. Okay, but it's actually something to be concerned about. Why should the justice system operate differently in Democrat jurisdictions and in Republican jurisdictions? It means that you don't live in America anymore. You basically live in a hodgepodge of ideologies. In one location, you can get a justice system swing one way. In the other direction, in the other jurisdiction, you get it swinging a different way, which is a problem in my books. The justice system should work evenly, the same. Now, I guess from his analysis, no matter what happens with the Letitia James case, there is going to be the stain of partisan justice being played out, or a two-tier justice system being played out. In the conservative arena, she's going to basically have harsher penalties placed on her, which is wrong. The punishment should fit the crime. If she's going to have the book thrown at her, I don't support that. I think she should be judged accordingly. However, there's a sentiment that Tim Pool is trying to put out here, and that is that the Democrats are not playing by the same rules that Republicans are playing by. So Republicans have to wake up and begin to play by those same rules that the Democrats want to play by. I guess that's what he's saying. This makes me quite unhappy, and I do not support it, but I can see where he's going. Let me know what you think in the comment section or in the chat. This is live, okay? This is live. So let me know what you think in the chat, okay?
We are so far past this argument about if she gets convicted by, a jury of her peers. That didn't happen with Trump or Trump's lawyers. It didn't happen with the J6ers. So I don't understand why we're still in this position where conservatives, and I don't mean to be disrespectful, Seamus, but conservatives keep saying, let's keep playing by the rules Democrats aren't playing by.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you threw the mic to me when I didn't have anything to say, so I just pointed out what my thoughts were on it. I mean, I think if she's guilty, she should go to jail.
I don't think it's about
Could have pitched your cartoon, man. Any silence hits the cartoon.
TwistedPlots.com, everybody. Twisted Plots.
I don't think, again, it's about the conviction. Again, as Tim said, the J6ers weren't convicted. It was about the process that they were forced to go through. You still have to hire lawyers and put your family through this years of uncertainty of whether or not you're going to be arrested. They put the president through the same thing. And I mean, I do think these charges will likely be dropped. But again, it's the process that people have to go through. And I think this is what retribution from the president looks like. I think the more fascinating part of this story here is that Chuck Schumer has to do this because he's posturing to avoid his left flank taking over and primarying him in his upcoming election. I believe he's up for re-election in 26. AOC could likely challenge him, and he needs to flank more to the left and cover his left flank to avoid being primaried.
Here's
from AOC.
Do you think that's kind of baked in already? I mean, it's my impression that AOC's absolutely going to challenge him.
What do you
agreed, but let's do the math here. If Schumer is actually saying be violent because he's trying to beat AOC, let's just go step by step. Okay. If Schumer says to people, be violent because he's trying to get ahead of AOC, what do you think the next course of action politically will be between AOC and Chuck Schumer?
Who could say to be more violent?
They're going to try to one-up each other in this area of direct conflict, direct action.
Wait, are they running against each other?
The presumption is AOC is going to try to primary Schumer in New York.
Okay.
She actually, the official reporting is she's looking at president or Senate.
And this could also explain the to why Chuck Schumer is leading a shutdown to show that he is fighting back against the Trump so-called fighting back against the Trump administration by shutting down the government.
Can I ask you?
So in essence, the entire play by the Democrat Party is simply to use power to consolidate their own power. I guess that's what's going on. So Chuck Schumer, according to the analysis, is using the levers he has access to in order to position himself to get reelected. That should make you think, because it means if this is the way they play politics with power, and honestly, I wouldn't want to be naive to say that is exclusive to the United States. It's a global phenomenon with politics. Politics is essentially trying to sway people to like you and to vote for you and to keep you in power. That's politics. And these people are using these levers, in essence, using the people, the masses, to do their bidding by engineering these circumstances like the government shutdown. Okay, now, what are my thoughts on that? All right, I'll throw the question out to you. What do you think about politicians doing that, to you, whether they're Republican or Democrat? I'm of the opinion that the people should begin to use the politicians as tools and not let them use you as tools. So the question is, you want to shut down the government. Why? And then let them explain why. The Democrats will claim that it is because they want to secure Medicaid and healthcare, that the Republicans are trying to take away Medicaid and healthcare. You go back and do your own research. Don't listen to them. Don't believe them. Do your own research. Figure out if they're telling you the truth. If they aren't, hold their feet to the fire and get them to do what they're supposed to do. Same goes for the Republicans. If the Republicans are saying these guys over here are doing this, go back and do your own research. It's the most important thing. We need to begin to think for ourselves. All right, I'm being really honest because I'm really sick. I spent years believing politicians. I spent years believing politicians. I spent years believing the mainstream media. And eventually I found out that they were all liars. So I think for myself, and it's easy to get carried away and say, yes, this is something I want, but you also have to keep your eyes on the ball. All right, keep your eyes on the ball. Don't just get so excited and carried away, and then the politicians get you hypnotized and you just support everything they do and say. All right, so it's really important. Let me know in the chat if you agree and what you really think about all this.
Question quickly, Elad. You mentioned this as retribution, and I think there's a few ways to understand that. Do you think that this is justified? Do you think it's good for them to go after her, or are you of the opinion that this is the kind of thing the administration should let go? I'm curious what your perspective is there.
I think this is payback. Can you repeat the second part of your
Yeah. I guess my question is,
I do think
that's a word that could, because that's a word that could be like prescriptive or descriptive. So my question is, like, when you call it retribution, often when people call it retribution, they mean that with a negative connotation. This is petty, this is pointless, this is political, he shouldn't be doing this. I'm just clarifying.
Yeah, so I mean, I think that Democrats, it started actually before the president Donald Trump was indicted while Joe Biden was president, and I guess this is payback. Whether or not I think that's like justified or not, I think it is justified given the totality of the situation. These are people who have come, I think Tish James was involved, I forgot which case in particular, but I believe she brought one of the cases against him that eventually was to be dropped, and they went against all the Trump allies too. Yesterday you guys had on Peter Navarro, I believe it was, and he had to spend time in jail for things that, what was it, contempt of court, or was that Bannon who was
Congress, I think?
Contempt of Congress, or one or the other. So do I think it's justified? Yeah, the DOJ has been politicized. If anybody has any sort of inkling of doing something wrong, then they should be punished to the full extent of the laws. But like, I believe there was, I forgot who was reporting it, but there were also people in the Trump administration who have worked for Trump who have misfiled their mortgage filings in the past as well. And in the future, I'm sure the DOJ will continue to be politicized. So I guess the warning is that, what goes around comes around, but that's what's happening right now.
And if that's true, it simply means that the entire political class is compromised. Everyone is compromised. The Democrats, the Republicans. You might be watching and saying, so who's this guy? What does he believe? Look, I like balanced, non-partisan analysis. I don't like feeling like I'm lying to myself, first of all. So I will tell the truth to myself first, okay? To myself first. And then if I can tell the truth to myself, then I can easily tell you the truth. Yesterday, I was listening to Moist Critical, and maybe I might do a reaction to that video in a future stream where he's breaking down the crypto crash that happened. I think it was the day that Donald Trump announced the 100% tariffs on China. And then just before that happened, there were people who were tied to the Trump administration shorting their crypto investments up to the minute before President Trump gave the announcement about the tariffs on China, and then the crypto market crashed. You're not going to hear me defending that. I'm not going to say there's nothing to see here. Like I said, I'm going to do that video. I'm going to do that video and we're going to go through it and then listen to what's going on, and then also maybe have a conversation around that. The idea behind conversations like this is for us to be able to break the hypnotism of either party, whether you're Democrat or Republican. I am definitely conservative. Therefore, in the current version of the Republican Party, I will support the policies of the Republican Party. But if I see corruption being played out by the Republican Party, like I just got through talking about my concerns about the weaponization of the justice system, I'm not going to sit back and clap like a seal, that's happening. Clearly, there's some politics to Letitia James being indicted. Why is that? Because, like he just said, there are other people who have done the same thing. If she did it, a bunch of other people have done the same thing. And I think it's it's one of the charges that Adam Schiff is facing, the same thing about mortgage fraud. So this is something that most people in Washington, D.C. and in politics do because it is a special privilege that they have access to, and they take the privilege. So Letitia James decided to step over the line and attack President Trump based on that privilege that people who can get it do use, and now she's being prosecuted on the exact same thing she prosecuted President Trump over. So she opened Pandora's box. She's getting the blowback from it. But how many other people in the Trump administration, in the Democrat Party or the Republican Party do the exact same thing? So that's the question. It just simply means that the entire political landscape has been compromised. And that is something that should concern everyone. Everyone is concerned about left versus right, but when you have people who expose themselves because they have chosen to not live very clean or honest lives or have clean dealings, there's a problem there. Many years ago, I thought to myself, if I even think that at some point in my future I will be a public figure, I need to make sure that my life doesn't have some of the skeletons that I see these people in leadership have. Now, I haven't made the best decisions throughout my life, so I still think that I'm still going to have someone point at something in my life that doesn't exactly make sense. But when you begin to throw stones at other people because of the crimes that you yourself have already committed in the past, then there's a problem there. All right. So let me know what you think about, my breakdown so far. Am I being so middle of the road that you don't know what I'm saying or know what I'm doing? Just give me a comment. Let me know what you think. I see comments in my comments section that are just way out there. People are either all the way over on the left, Democrat, blue, no matter who, and they don't sit back to ask real questions. They just hate conservatives, or they hate Donald Trump, or they hate Christians so much that they will vote the other way. Let me give you one example now. The peace deal between Israel and Gaza has been signed. Yet, I have someone in my chat who is so hateful of Donald Trump that he's busy hyping out, don't worry, this peace deal is going to end real soon. And the sentiment is not that the parties, and I've said it already, that the parties seem to not have the capabilities of holding a peace deal because of the history that they both share, the Palestinians and the Israeli. And that's a basic observation. But when someone gives their reason for a peace deal not being held for long to be connected to the fact that they hate Donald Trump so much that they wish that the peace deal will fail so that they can have something to gloat about, then you have a mental disorder. That's essentially what it is. You have a mental disorder because you're wishing ill on a geopolitical location simply because you want Donald Trump to fail because you hate him so much. And if that's your sentiment, you do have a very deep-seated problem. You have a very, very big problem, and you need to change your mind. You need to repent, right? So that's what I'm going to say about that. It's really important. It's really important that you learn how to, embrace truth without being partisan. Learn how to embrace truth without being partisan. It is important. Okay. So let's wrap up this video.
Warning is, if Republicans lose, whoever wins the next election, that's it. We've seen what Democrats do with power. They arrested Trump's lawyers. I need to stress this for all of you. Jenna Ellis may be cowardly, but they arrested Trump's lawyers. Like, Trump was accused of bad things. So he said, I'm going to hire a lawyer. Well, actually what happened was Trump hired lawyers to assist him in his challenge of the election, which is literally a redress of grievances. Jenna Ellis drafted a letter at the request of Trump, so they charged her with 2 counts of RICO. They then got her to beg and cry and plead guilty. They went after Trump's lawyers, I think it was in Wisconsin. Look how they went after the J6ers. Look at the fake charges on the hush money thing, the falsification of business records. Those are misdemeanors they falsely claimed were felonies, and the court went along with it.
Yep.
So if y'all are crazy enough to think that we are playing this game of courts and whatever, I mean, look, conservatives went to Portland and got arrested. Like, I think 3 instances now where conservatives were attacked and the police in Portland arrested them.
Yep.
I'm just flabbergasted that there are people who are like, I can freely travel to Portland and the police will help me. It's like, are you joking? Well, you are an enemy partisan to these people.
Here's the wild thing. And part of why I wanted to ask you for clarification is because I think I understood how you meant it. I just wanted it to be clear to the audience. It's funny because people will say, oh, Trump is doing this for purely political reasons. But if that's the case, why do so many of these people have so much shadiness in their past that can be investigated, that can allow for them to be brought up on all these charges in the first place?
I mean, it's more
Exactly.
I wish they got him on something meatier, right? I wish they got Tish James on something more meaty than
I think
Like her body, right? She's got a meaty
Something-
I think the point was literally to go after her for the exact same thing she accused Trump of, falsification of mortgage documents.
Okay, and if that was their point, I mean, I think they're also going against Peter Schiff with
Same thing.
Adam Schiff rather.
Peter Schiff.
Yeah.
The same thing. Yeah.
Bad predictions.
Don't you think that
Young Schiff.
I feel like this is just like whatever opportunity presents itself, because these are things that are legitimate.
But if you don't have the goods,
but I think they actually do. If the evidence that we've seen about Letitia James is accurate, I think we do have the goods in there.
Thanks for checking out this clip from Tim Castle.
All right.
Watch the show live Monday through Friday.
All right, so this is coming from Timcast IRL. Please head on over to his channel, like his content, subscribe, and let him know that we sent you. Now, let's know your thoughts on this story.
Subscribe.
Thanks for watching, liking, and sharing this video. Please subscribe, leave a super thank, and join my membership to keep me doing this. A huge thank you to my supporters listed on the screen. Thank you for your donations and membership.
Thanks for watching.